Hello, my name is John Knoerzer and I'm here with Boardgamegeek TV. Today we're going to be doing a review of Agent P's World Showcase Adventure. It is an interactive game based at the World Showcase at Epcot Center in Walt Disney World. It is themed on the Phineas and Ferb cartoon character Perry the Platypus as Agent P. You assist him in tracking down Dr. Heinz Doofenshmirtz. Now, since this is an interactive game and we luckily have someone currently at Epcot Center, I'm going to throw it over to our geek on the spot, Beth, to show you some of the highlights of the game.
Hi, welcome here from sunny Epcot. My name is Beth Heile, here again for Boardgamegeek TV, and we're going to take you through the interactive game that they have available here only at Epcot, which is the themed on Phineas and Ferb, the cartoon show. So we are all going to walk over to one of the stations that you can find around the World Showcase and get the game going. So we're over here between the United Kingdom and France, and we've come to one of the 4 Phineas and Ferb Agent P start stations. So I'm standing here with
Paloma,
who is going to give us the instructions that we need to begin the game.
So, all you have to do when you come here is pick a country in the showcase. I will give you a phone device, and with this phone you will have one mission, is help Agent P to save the world. We're going to ask the guests to give us a Disney room key or a park ticket to sign them in. And so once they're signing in, we give them a phone, and with this phone they have to follow all the instructions that Major Monogram and Cal we give them. They tell them everything they need to know to succeed this mission.
Now, it's not just a phone, it is an acronym for something.
It's a Field Operative Notification Equipment.
And we got a little secret tip from before that we actually know that we would like to start in France.
Okay, so you want to sign up for a mission right now?
Absolutely, let's get our park key.
Okay, so I need one letter.
Well, let's do B for Boardgamegeek.
So you'll be Agent B, welcome to the team.
Thank you.
You want to say France?
Yes, we would definitely like to visit France.
Très bon choix. Welcome to the OWCA, the organization without a cool acronym. This is your phone. All you have to do is push the OK button and follow all the instructions that Major Monogram and Cal will give you. They will show you pictures of what kind of clues you have to find to succeed your mission and help Agent P. At the end of the mission, there is a drop box in the country to leave the phone. It's all explained how to find it.
Thank you, Paloma. We will be off on our way to France.
Good luck. Count on you, agents.
Thank you.
Have a good time.
Welcome to the team, Agent B. On this dangerous assignment, you'll be armed with just your wits and our Field Operative Notification Equipment, or FON.
Or we could pronounce it phone, sir.
Good call, Carl. You know, this is starting to get kind of technical. Why don't you take over?
All right, Agent. We'll contact you over the phone with the mission instructions, but it's really up to you. Move out of range of the field station, then press the OK button, and I'll fill you in on a few features.
Bonjour. All right, our first clue was an image of this bookstore, and in fact, it's being repeated on my phone here. So we're going to press the OK button, and this is the first step in our clue hunt, and we will see what happens.
Doofenshmirtz was at this shop, checking out the bookshelf, struggling to speak with the shopkeeper, and pulling out his hair.
Maybe he left some fingerprints.
Good thinking, sir. Agent, stand near the books and activate your remote scanner.
All right, I've been asked to activate my remote scanner while standing near the books, and I'm pressing OK. Scanner activated. Hair sample detected. DNA analysis processing. Match found.
Hair samples good too.
So our second clue has asked us to go down to the waterfront, and we're going to press OK on our phone once we get down there. So let's go walk down to the lagoon.
Bachelor pad. I suggested we just call him back, but Carl has his heart set on using high-tech security cameras in locations where he's been sighted.
in-security camera.
But I need your help calibrating the cameras. One neighborhood's received complaints of a tall, slouchy man in a lab coat yelling at people because he couldn't understand their accents. That sounds like a good place to start.
Go to this location on Les Petites Rues, look up at the Eiffel Tower, and press OK. End of our review here of the Agent P mini missions that you can do here at the World Showcase of Epcot. Now, we had never done any of these games before, so let's head back to our house and we'll give you a few ideas on our opinions of what we felt as gamers playing this mission.
Well, we're back in Chicago and Beth has joined us. So how was your trip?
Hot. Well, and we'll be honest to everyone, actually both of us were there. John was filming most of the behind the scenes at Epcot while I was in front of the camera. But unlike other videos that we've done today, this is actually a true review that we would like to give our opinion on what we felt on this game. So first we're going to start with a few pros. John, what did you like about Agent P?
Well, I think it really helped. I've been to Epcot before, and it really helped me explore some of the countries to a depth that I've never really explored them before. It showed me different things that I hadn't seen before in the different countries, and it was something new. And it gave me a new take on the World Showcase, which was nice.
Now, I really liked that. Given how expensive all the parks can be, this was totally free. It was a no-loss enterprise, aside from perhaps a little bit of time and energy. And it also seemed to be very well targeted for the age range that they're aiming for, which as best we can guess was about the 8 to 12 sector. But that said, we also did enjoy ourselves, even as adults.
It was a good time, and it was a good size for the mission. They lasted about 30 minutes long, maybe 40 minutes, depending on how quickly you went through the different clues. And I think that was a good time to spend in a country. I mean, it was not like this 2-hour ordeal or anything like that. Right when I was getting like, okay, let's move on, it was finishing up. So I feel like they timed it well. It held my attention for the mission length, and I think the size was really good.
Yeah, we also like the geographic size as well. One country area is about a quarter-mile square, and it keeps you within that one country area, so you're not having to walk huge lengths of distances to accomplish within one mission.
True.
All right, so now let's give a few examples of things we didn't like.
Well, I didn't get a chance to play the Kim Possible version of this game, but what we've read online and what we've talked to some other people who have played that version and have tried this version, they're basically the same thing. So if you've played the Kim Possible version, don't go down there thinking that it's a complete new clues or reinvention of the game. It's really just reskinned for the Phineas and Ferb cartoon. So, I mean, I guess that's a little bit of a con, so don't expect anything new if you've tried the Kim Possible one.
Now, that said, we were also down there in August in Florida, and you are walking around outside. Our initial goal was to be able to do 3 to 4 missions, which would be 3 to 4 different country areas, and we made it through 2 before physically we had to stop because of the heat. As you can probably guess, as seeing my cheeks get progressively pinker and pinker as we go through the video. So just keep that in mind. Not necessarily a con depending on what time of year you're down there, but something to keep in mind if you're down there in the hotter months, that it can be brutal because almost everything in the World Showcase is outside. So.
Plus, there's a 15-minute time limit. I think in the explanation they mentioned that after 15 minutes of you not interacting with the phone's going to shut down and not be able to be turned back on. Now, I know they probably do this for security reasons, but there was that sense of, okay, we need to get it done, we need to get it done. And I'm taking that as a con, though it really was the only way you could lose the game. I mean, the clues were simple enough and probably easy for adults and for BGG, for us board gamers, BGGers. There were no real choices. It was just finding the clues and seeing what happened. So that 15-minute time limit and the fact that it was a little easy took away from it. I wanted something a little more challenging, but, you know, obviously since it's geared for 8 to 12-year-olds, you know, it's probably not going to be very challenging for most adults.
Now, we didn't obviously keep the footage of this, but we actually did have 2 equipment failures while we were doing this as well. Our phone got froze twice. One bad enough that we had to walk out of our country area in France completely and walk back to the booth to have the attendant reset it for us. The other time it was luckily able to shake it off, but it actually reset us to the back of that little mini episode mission bit. So we had to watch the whole cartoon bit again. Again, not the end of the world, but if that's happening multiple times, particularly with kids in the heat, it could be a source of big frustration. So we're hoping that was just maybe a bad phone on our part. And the last thing that we thought that was perhaps a little selfish is there is no reward for doing it. It is simply just a fun activity. We don't know how difficult it would be for Disney to pull this off, but it would be neat. We were thinking even if we had just gotten a coupon at one of the stores, even if it was very limited. Or the craze in Disney now is pin collecting. If you had gotten a pin of Agent P or Perry or Phineas and Ferb or whatever that you could only get by completing one mission. Again, we're not sure how the logistics of that would look, but it'd be neat to get some sort of accolade for doing it aside from just saying, hey, I played this fun game in Epcot.
And just to show that we are not all of one mind, I actually disagree with that. I don't think not having a reward at the end took away from it at all. I think that would make things more complicated. I think it would be not as enjoyable because there are obviously other people around doing the same thing. And I think if there was a reward that would change the feel of this as an experience, as an attraction, and make it more of a competition, and I think that would have taken away from it. So I actually don't agree with you on the fact that no reward was a bad thing. But that, you know, that's my opinion.
All right, so we're going to give our final thoughts on what our overall opinion, and I will start. I found that it's definitely an enjoyable activity, and again, it's no loss. So if you happen to walk by one of the stations and pick up a phone, and even if you don't finish a mission, why not? There's nothing to lose. And some of the special effects, when you take your phone and activate something cool, some of those were actually really neat. Yeah. So again, why not? I mean, you have nothing to lose. And if the phone shuts off and deactivates, fine, you know, you can just slip it in your bag for a bit until you either feel like dropping it off at one of the drop-off locations or taking it back and reactivating it at one of the 4 start locations. So I'd say it's definitely worth investigating whether you are family members with kids or whether you're just hobby board gamers in general. I think it's worth checking out.
And I would agree with that. I remember being in the World Showcase when I was around 8 to 12 years old, and I found it so boring, and I hated it. It was the worst part of Disney World. I didn't want to go there. But my parents loved to tour the countries and try the food and all that kind of stuff, and I found it really boring, and it was the worst part of the vacation. And I think this would be something that would engage me, and we could say, okay, we're going to be in this country for 45 minutes and a half an hour, and, you know, if you're like 10, 12 years old and your parents are comfortable, just let them go and do it, and you can just kind of keep an eye on them, and while you're doing the shopping and the...
Chances are you'll see them crisscrossing, so you'll probably pretty good chance you'll keep them in sight.
I mean, it's a small area, so, you know, if you have older kids that you're very comfortable with going on your own, this is like the perfect way to keep them entertained in a place that might not be the most entertaining part of Disney World for kids. So I think that's a real pro, and I think it makes me say yay for doing this. I think Walt Disney World has something here, and they've even implemented something very similar to this in the Magic Kingdom. They have the Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom, which is a card-based game. So you get these cards, and basically the same thing. You go find these different locations. You watch a little video scene, and then you show a card, and then it gives you another video scene.
Yeah, you're basically fighting all the villains from all the classic Disney movies led by Hades from Hercules.
Yeah. I like this one better because it's in an area where kids don't have that much to do.
Whereas there's so many big rides to distract you in the Magic Kingdom. Although we certainly saw plenty of families doing the Sorcerers game while we were there.
So I think it's genius for them putting it in the World Showcase, but they are, you know, kind of experimenting with this, and I think this could be a new avenue for, you know, kind of theme park interactive kind of adventures and attractions. So we'll see where it goes.
So if you happen to find yourself down in Florida and at Walt Disney World, then 2 thumbs up for trying out the Agent P World Showcase Adventure. And the ambient music that's playing right above my head, we're probably pretty good. How's the hair? Hello, second sound test. Hello, computer. See, we're in the science section, you know? Oh, look out, honey, I gotta film something real quick, okay?
Dankeschön, darling, don't... Oh, you can shut it off. No one wants to hear me sing. No one wants to hear me sing. You don't even want to hear me sing. You tell me to be quiet when I sing, so why are you keeping this on? I'm shutting off the mic.